Uh, First time making a Gears of War video in about 10 years. Checking out the Gears of War 5, I guess, tech test. Um, just wanted to get some thoughts off my chest. It's been a little while. By a little while, I mean many, many years. I'm the guy that would post videos back in the day, 2012. I'd be exposing Moo Moo Milk. I'd be making Play Smarter. I'd be trying to do guides and tips before was sort of a big thing. Channel was kind of big at the time. I'd often speak to, I'd have Lee Perry and some other devs would sometimes talk in Skype. Lee Perry, I've still tweeted out very recently, he still remembers me. We still chat. Um, there are a whole load of people that remember the Gears of War 1 era and Gears of War 2 era. And watching the Gears of War 5 reveal just basically brought back a load of things, and watching gameplay and using gameplay brought back a load of things that I've been thinking for the dawn of time, so I'll just try to make it quick. The I think he's actually streaming right now. Sorry for stealing your gameplay, mate. I think Like Butter is actually currently playing the tech test, and I've been chatting in there for a little bit and talking about a few things. So Like Butter, go follow him, Twitch Prime him, whatever. Sorry, I'm just going to use it as gameplay. Don't sue me. I'll cover up his beautiful face. So Gears of War 5, to me, what it seems like is that the shotgun again is like the key thing. To me, that is what makes Gears. We can talk about custom lobbies, making a community feel. We can talk about this and that, but really what it comes down to is core gameplay, right? To me, the maps again are massively tiered, raised up, they're leveled, and as you can see there, you can't push. There's just no way you can push at all due to just the sheer length of the distance between each block, the sheer power of the Lancer, and the fact that many of the spots are height advantage, right? So the maps are been designed for a game mode called Escalation, I believe. Warzone, Execution, all that type of stuff really isn't important anymore in Gears. It's all about these objective based game modes with team shotting, and you rank up and you play as a team and you all team Lancer, and again that to me isn't inducive to fun, but that's the way the game has gone. The game has gone into an era of, it's moved out of the era of custom lobbies, hosts, community feel, and it's moved into the era of tier lists, YouTube guides and stuff. Like, everything will have tier lists. The Nasher, this is an A tier thing. The boom shot, B tier. Active reload, that's S tier. Oh, shotgun, blah, you know what I mean? Like, everything's tier list, everything's about being the best you possibly can be, and it's a different era, it's a different game, and it's different players, and I understand that. I'm not the 14-year-old kid that would cry on YouTube, you know? Like, I get that. But when I watch this gameplay, it still brings back those things that I was thinking many, many years ago. I absolutely love the game, and I'd love to get involved in it again. But what is the thing that's, I guess, stops me playing Gears is just the shotgun. It's always been the crux of every Gears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're always tweaking it. Gears 2 title update 6, Gears 1 sponge, Gears 2 the wall cancel was introduced, and it comes down to the fact that from what I've watched and consumed the content of Gears 5, there is no shotgun battles. A shotgun battle is effectively nowadays two shots. The first person full reds, the second person retaliates with a shot, and then because the other person is, it's a shotgun that you cock it back, it shoots once, there's now a small window where you cannot shoot again because it's not automatic. The next guy then walks into body range or gib range, and you get bodied, and that's it, game over. There is no dance, and one of the small things that I don't think people realise that can't really be changed is those shotgun battles I don't feel like can ever come back, because the Gears of War shotgun battles that we all know and remember were based on a very interesting mechanic where the sensitivity really wasn't as high as it was right now. People talk about damage values, map layouts and all that, but I think it's actually based on sensitivity. When somebody was... don't get me wrong, it is based on damage values and stuff, but there's a small thing that people forget, that when you have a shotgun battle, if you can hard aim and track the user, why would you ever not aim, right? The only reason you wouldn't aim in a game is for speed, right? You hip firing, Counter-Strike, someone's caught you off guard and you have to hip fire an AWP or something, which is rare, but, Call of Duty, ideally you'd pre-aim them and shoot them, but you might have to panic and hip fire. That's really what the hip fire is used, is for quick explosive actions. The problem is when somebody moves, you can stay fully aimed and track the target, because the sensitivity is so much higher than Gears of War 1 high. In Gears of War 1 high, if somebody was moving left to right, you could just about keep up with them, just barely keep up with a moving target. These days you can just 180 spin, which means that shotgun battles now start a lot earlier because you can track that user and get the first shot off. So you're going into every single shotgun battle almost full red. So for me personally, I would slow down the aiming on the Nasher or Lancer whilst, I guess, held in aim down sight. Again, we're watching some shotgun battles here, but there haven't really been any. It's all Lancering, isn't it? It's Lancering him down. Hey, right. Yeah. And there's not much shotgun going on, is there? So it seems to be like I really still enjoy the game, but when I'm watching gameplay like this, it's just you full red. You get cross-lanced, and it's just a different game played by different players. Don't get me wrong, the Lancer could do this in Gears of War 1, but there was this unwritten code that you kind of didn't do it. But now that there's ranking systems, tier lists, everyone wants to be the best, and esports is now a thing. When I was playing, there was game battles and LAN events, but you'd lose money for winning LAN events. That's how much money was on the line. I could have gone to many LAN events. I think I was good enough. I played with all the good players. I could kill the good players. I was on teams. But going to a LAN event would lose your money. Yeah, and occasionally maybe if you won you'd get a little bit. But the cost of travel and everything, it wasn't really a thing. Nowadays esports is such like a massive thing that everyone wants to be pro. Everyone wants to be the best. So that whole mentality of, you know, a little bit of respect for the other person you're playing with is gone. Everyone just wants to win, which makes a very unfun environment where everything is just super punishing. So we've been watching this now, how long? I don't know, a few minutes. We still haven't seen a shotgun battle, and that's because the maps just aren't conducive to a shotgun battle. Just look at the map we're looking at. It's a massive, super high. You can't shotgun across that, and you also can't get up close to shotgun because it's all long blocks you've got to cover from A to B. And the shotgun battles are just that. One shot. Is he red? Can we push him? Now he's been shot. One shot. Two. You know, two shots. They're all like that. There's no opportunity to sort of begin to move and outplay. And again, one of the things is like I feel like the wall cancel. Like you can't, once you've gone to a wall, if you go to a wall and you slide to a wall, in Gears 1 you would be committed to that wall. So if your movement was good, you could make a player think, right, he's got my number, and for me to get out of the situation I'm going to have to wall bounce. So then you begin to wall bounce, and then you'd commit to that wall. You would then know that person is bouncing to that wall. You would read it. You would let go of your left trigger because you couldn't hard aim them. You'd let go, quickly turn, then aim at the concrete block they were sliding towards, and you would kill them. In Gears of War 2, 3, 4, Judgment, 5, whatever, tech test, it still feels like the Gears of War shotgun is so far away from being the shotgun battles that we know, like one shot. You know, he got cross-lanced there. It's just a different era. Now, I don't know what you do to really fix it. I'm not a developer, and to be honest, I feel like it's in a difficult situation because all the maps are designed for a mode that, for me, Gears players don't really like. They play it because it's there and it's the most played mode, but I still feel like the core fan base loves execution and loves that close quarter shotgun battle, things like that, where the guy slides to the wall and you have that shotgun battle. But you'll notice, right, interestingly, I know he's fighting over frag grenades, but some of the most shotgun battles we've seen are in this area. And why? Because look at it, the distance between the covers are small, where you can move, and you're not being shot from above or the sides, and it's not a massive open area. So I feel like the thing that stops me getting into Gears of War is just the whole the whole lack of shotgun battles and the whole scene of esports, you can't really change that. It's happened. We're now in the era of tier lists, YouTube guides, esports, etc. So there's a lot of varieties, a lot of factors that go into why Gears is the way it is. But I think what stops Gears being an absolutely truly great game is that, how fast did he just down him then? That player there wanted to be the aggressor. He wanted to take the height advantage. But because he tried to be the aggressor, he got killed and he lost the power weapon. Now, some people that haven't played Gears War 1 will, what's the word I'm looking for, will objectively look at that and go, well, you're pushing a guy with height advantage into a rifle. You deserve to die. That was stupid play. Yes, technically, with this level of balance, with this map layout, and with the strength of the weapons the way they currently are, that was a stupid play. He should have sat there in a standoff until he waited for his friend to cross-lancer him or something. But this is a video game, and what made it so popular was how fun it was, and it wasn't that you had to rely on a teammate to provide you with a cross. You could take the onus on yourself, and you could actually make plays. Like, that was a 2v1. There's very little actual one-on-one pushing going on, because if you push, you have absolutely no advantage. And some people seem to think that Gears War 1 Gears War has always been that way, that pushing doesn't give you an advantage, when actually I think it's been 50-50. The push in Gears War 1 has always been super important. There's always been the phrase push your ones, and that's not really a thing anymore. This guy gets pushed, what happens? He gets crossed, and that is a mixture of game balance, but it's also a complete era change that wouldn't be happening very often, especially not in a normal game like this. This isn't a competitive game or anything, like that. It's just a ranked match. It's not GB, it's not LAN, it's not for money, but it is played like everything is played these days to the absolute sweat levels, and that's okay. But when you put sweaty players with also high, how do I call it, not high variant, but high percentage places, it's a recipe for disaster for the solo queue player. If there is high ground, if there are lancers that are strong in a team environment, a solo player or a player that's trying to make the plays is just in such a disastrous spot that 9 times out of 10 is not going to come off. So I still really, really enjoy the game, and one of the things that puts me off purchasing the game is because I like it so much that I inevitably end up balance whining, because I think it can be so much better than it currently is. But I think we're in an era now where lancering, team shotting, map coordination, rotations are ingrained in every modern player, that you can't really change it. And Gears has just changed, and that's what I think people need to realise. Stuff like that, he cannot push that. There's no way. He couldn't bounce left to right because the guy could have hard aimed him no matter which direction he chose. He can't push him because he gets two shot. So basically what Light Butter should have done there is he should have sat back and Lancer at his toes for 30 minutes, like he's now doing, lancering at this guy. When you make an aggressive maneuver, your percentage and the way you're rewarded is just not worth. You're far, far better to do stuff like this. And the only time you should be making pushes is when you're absolutely coordinated as a team, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's not very conducive to fun. So, what you need is, these guys here are trying to escape the crossfire. These guys need ideally square blocks that are tall, so you can turn around the four corners and cover yourself at all four sides and keep alive. But a lot of the blocks of cover, you can't find the safety angle, and you're always open to the cross, whether it's due to the lack of cover, the lack of quadrants to spin around, or just the fact that there's now levels in the maps, there's height. One of the only maps that had height when I played was Escalation, and if somebody wanted to make Escalation unfun, they really could make it unfun, because you could sit at the top and lancer and you couldn't push them. And as a result, that was one of the least popular maps in Gears of War. But now we're in an era where pretty much every map is escalation V2, and it's difficult. Like, he's trying to break a hill there, but there's only one of him, and I understand that you can't just go Rambo. I do get that, you know, I'm not stupid, but like this is kind of a shotgun battle, right? Because there was nobody shooting in the background. There was 2 quadrant blocks, and I don't think it's a coincidence that the shotgun battles we're seeing happen are away from the levels with height, and in this sort of area, right? There's a lot of shotgun battles in this sort of area because there's a little bit of cover away from the map. I think it just naturally ends up flowing to these points. So I don't know. I just fancied making the video because I haven't made a Gears of War 5 video before. I've never made a Gears video in about 10 years, and I still really enjoy the game. I do wish I could play it and enjoy it with the same level of enjoyment as I could when I was a child. Obviously, you know, things change, you move on, but it's very difficult to see a game that you really enjoy be resorted back to sort of basically a Call of Duty hybrid. It's just all about lancering, and it's always been that way. I always got in trouble on the forums for it with that woman called Flack or Cher or whatever she was called. There was a guy called Taco Devil. You remember my rant on Taco Devil. And these people, I still remember their names, which is absolutely pathetic, but I still remember their names because I used to enjoy the game so much, and I used to get so heated that I hated stuff like this. This to me is not Gears of War. It's not enjoyable in any way. The only option they have is to coordinate a push on one side, clear out the right side high side advantage, then pivot back, take out the left side, and then clear the middle. And that's not what Gears is about to me. That's not what would make this game explode in popularity. Gears has this unique hold on the market where it's like a third-person shooter, cover-based, that's completely unique, and I still feel like it's an absolute superb game. It's just slowly lost its way, and it's really hard to rein it back because the people like me that played the game back in 2006 to 2011-12 and played it competitively and played it like hard, we're just we don't exist anymore. That I guess breed of players gone, or they're not voicing their opinions, or we're just a small minority. So it's just difficult to, you know, I guess see things like this where guys are trying to make a push and you're just getting absolutely mullered, and realistically just pushing is just an absolute nightmare. You know, what's this guy meant to do? 2 shots there, that guy was downed by 2 shotgun shells from that distance. There's something just fundamentally not right with the level of damage. So he's now full red. That's a fine example, you know. He's full red, he returned fire, and then like Button knows he's full red and he can't shoot, so he pushes him. That was smart play. But also the shotgun fights are just, they're not fights, they're just he's full red and in gib range, I'm now gibbing you. So the game still looks fun, but it's still got, to me, all the same problems that all the older Gears have had. And I don't know, I just thought I'd voice my opinion because why not?